Hey guys, I'm Dustin Grimes, and if you already know me, you know I'm a huge sports fan. I love college football, I love NFL football, college basketball, NBA, I love it all. I also love wrestling. I know a lot of people say wrestling's not real. It's still real to me, damn it. Anyway, I love wrestling, I love college football. It's my two favorite things. I also love college basketball, so in my spare time, I would like to start doing a podcast. I would like really to start doing a weekly podcast, if not more than that, by January the 1st. I would like to get this thing rolling and started and maybe give you guys a little bit of entertainment by watching and listening to me give my opinion on crap that really don't matter. Sports really don't matter, but I love it and a lot of other people love it. And I kind of want to do something on the side as a hobby. Give me something to do so I won't keep eating my potato chips. Yeah, I love potato chips. But anyway, this is the Blue 42. And today, or earlier this morning, it was announced that Urban Meyer has announced his retirement from Ohio State. Urban Meyer, this is from ESPN staff writer Matt Rittenberg. Urban Meyer is retiring as Ohio State's coach after the Rose Bowl, and offensive coordinator Ryan Day will take over as the head coach beginning January 2nd, announced from Ohio State. Meyer, who's coached Ohio State for the past 7 seasons, has announced his retirement today at 2 p.m. at a news conference. The 54-year-old Urban Meyer has battled the effects of some kind of cyst on his brain, which causes severe headaches, especially when under stress. I'm not going to knock anybody on health issues, but it seems like every time when something gets hard or tough, Urban Meyer's health issues come back up. He's having a heart attack. He's got cysts on his brain. I'm not saying they're not real. They're probably very real, and they're probably very dangerous. But it's kind of weird. And I feel like this guy should have lost his job at the beginning of the season when the whole Zach Smith crap happened. He should have lost his job then. And yes, Urban Meyer is a great football coach. One of the most successful football coaches of all time. He's probably, here's Nick Saban. Urban Meyer's probably number 2. But I feel like what's happened with the whole Smith situation has ruined his legacy. For me, it has. Great career, I guess. And I hate that he's having health problems. You know, I don't wish no bad health or nothing bad on anybody. But this whole Zach Smith situation has ruined his legacy, in my opinion. And I'm glad to see him retire. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't be back. Who knows? He may do like he did at Florida, and a week from now, he may announce that he's keep staying on as head coach, and he may coach Ohio State for the next 4 years. He says that he doesn't believe that he'll return to coaching, but you can't believe everything that Urban Meyer says. And who knows? The Green Bay Packers job is open. You may see Urban Meyer announced as the next Green Bay Packers head coach within a week or so. Who knows? Don't believe anything a coach says. Just like Steve Spurrier, he retired from Florida. Went to the NFL. I'll never coach college again, blah, blah, blah. Went to South Carolina. He resigned at South Carolina. Look what happens. He's coaching the AAF in 2019, which I'm excited for. I love Steve Spurrier, but don't believe a coach when he says he's retired, especially a successful one. Especially one who has a lot of wins. We thought Urban Meyer was supposed to retire here a long time ago at Florida, and he come back like within a month or so, or a week, less than a month, announced he wasn't going to retire. Nick Saban left college, went to NFL, went back to college. Steve Spurrier has left Florida, went to NFL, went back to college, resigned, retired, whatever he did, and he still can't get out of it. I guess college football is an addiction for these guys because it's all they know. It's like a drug. It's like a drug for these guys. Once they get in them, you can't get it out. So when a coach announces he's retiring, It's kind of like a 50-50 chance. He may come back and he may stay retired. You can't believe everything a head coach tells you. But Urban Meyer, great coach. The winning records, the national championship prove that he's a great coach. But this whole Zach Smith thing, it's ruined his legacy, and I do not give a crap about Urban Meyer. I hope he stays retired. I hope he never comes back, even though he probably will. But his legacy is ruined. It'll have his on Wikipedia or his biography, whatever you want to put it. It'll have his win-loss record, but there'll be like a little asterisk by it. The Zach Smith controversy will always be connected with his name, just like Joe Paterno, one of the greatest coaches of all time. The whole child abuse situation will always connect with him. That's the reason he lost his job to begin with. That's the reason his statues tore down. So he'll always be remembered as a great coach, but the whole Zach Smith situation will also follow him for the rest of his life, as it should, because he did not do the right thing. Just like Joe Paterno did not do the right thing at the right time. It was too late. And also, it's getting close to the end of college football season. There's a lot of bowl games fixing to happen starting December the 15th for all you college football fans. I'm just going to point out a few games for you. Some of the, I guess, closer to our region, more the down south SEC games. This team's not in the SEC, but we're from Tennessee, so in the the R&L New Orleans Bowl, Middle Tennessee State will take on Appalachian State. That's December the 15th at 8 p.m. Central on ESPN. On Tuesday the 18th, the UAB Blazers take on Northern Illinois Huskies. That's in the Boca Raton Bowl. Memphis will take on Wake Forest in the Birmingham Bowl. It's Saturday, December the 22nd at 2:30. Miami takes on Wisconsin Thursday, December the 27th. And Vanderbilt has made it to a bowl game. Vanderbilt will take on Baylor in the Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl. And I'm proud for Vanderbilt. Derek Mason's a great coach, and for the past 2 to 3 years, they have blown Tennessee out back to back. I think Tennessee's future is a lot brighter than Vanderbilt's. But for right now, the past 2 years, Vanderbilt has blew out Tennessee. The Music City Bowl, Auburn's going to Nashville to take on Purdue. That'll be a pretty good game. Auburn 7-5, I think Purdue's 6-6. Will Greer in West Virginia is taking on Syracuse in the Camping World Bowl on 28th. Both of them games on the 20th of December. My Florida Gators will have to play Michigan once again. They're probably going to get their butts beat like they have the past 2 times they played Michigan. But this time it's in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, December the 29th. I hope Florida wins. I'm scared for that game. Michigan's great. Florida's getting better. But I'm scared for that game. I may have a heart attack. South Carolina takes on Virginia in the Belk Bowl on the 28th of December. And the 2 playoff games, the winner of these 2 games go to the national championship. Notre Dame, number 3, takes on Clemson, number 2, in the Cotton Bowl. That's the college football playoff semifinal. And the other one, Oklahoma takes on Alabama. I think it's going to come down to Alabama and Clemson again. And I hate Alabama. Honestly, I hate them. Not for any reason besides they win too much. I'm jealous, I guess. Really, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Alabama's success, and I'm jealous of Nick Saban's success. But honestly, I think Alabama's going to win it all. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter if it's Tua. It doesn't matter if it's Jalen Hurts. They're going to win either way, and they may win in pretty good fashion. They may blow out everybody. Well, they didn't beat. The Georgia game was pretty close, but Alabama still won. I think it'll come down to Alabama and Clemson again in the national championship game, and I'm pretty sure Alabama's going to win the national championship this year and be 15-0. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. 31st of December, Missouri takes on Oklahoma State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That's in Memphis. I went to the Liberty Bowl a couple years ago when it was Georgia and TCU. I love the Liberty Bowl. I love the stadium. I just don't love the neighborhood around it because I'm afraid I'm going to get shot or robbed. That's a pretty dangerous neighborhood. The whole city of Memphis is dangerous, but The game was fun. The stadium's still nice. And it's only 2 hours away, so anybody that's from around my area, it's cheap too. For me, it was cheaper to go to the Autos on Liberty Bowl than it was to go to a regular season game in Florida. Obviously, I guess. But it was still fun. Missouri takes on Oklahoma State in that one. And if you guys love Nashville, you can go see Auburn play Purdue. I wish I had the money and I wish I could take off of that. My wife's a huge Auburn fan. And I don't really like Auburn, but I love football and I always wanted to be inside Titans Stadium. I never have, actually. Been in Nashville a gazillion times. I've drove by the stadium a gazillion times, but never actually been inside of it. Maybe I can afford to go to a Titans preseason game next year or something. New Year's Day, well, December the 31st, Texas A&M and NC State plays in the Gator Bowl. Texas A&M looked awesome against that 7 overtime game. Yes, 7 overtime game against LSU here a while back. And I think Texas A&M is going to blow out NC State in that one. I think the future is bright for Texas A&M. Yes, they only went like 7-5 this season, but they can only get better from here for Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies. Awesome. January the 1st, it's Mississippi State and Iowa in the Outback Bowl. I'm not sure what to say about Mississippi State. I feel like their best years are behind them. Because Dan Mullen did great things at Mississippi State. And right now, Moorhead has Dan Mullen's players. And he's only went like 7-5 or 6-6, something like that. And with Mullen's players, what is he going to do when all the Mullen's players are gone and he has his own? I don't see Jim Moorhead or Joe Moorhead, whatever his name is, being there as long as Dan Mullen was. I don't see Moorhead having the success like Mullen did. So Mississippi State fans, you ought to be thankful for the time Mullen spent there because he did great things. Mississippi State was nobody before Dan Mullen got there, and now Moorhead has to build off that success, and I don't think he will. But I do think they'll win their bowl game. It'll be close, but I do think Moorhead will get a bowl victory January the 1st, but I'm not sure what's going to happen years down the road. This ought to be a good game. The Fiesta Bowl between number 11 LSU and Central Florida. I think LSU is going to win that game. I know Central Florida is undefeated, but their Central Florida star quarterback Mackenzie Milton had a terrible injury against South Florida a couple weeks ago. I think LSU has got that one. The Citrus Bowl, former 14 Kentucky and Penn State. This ought to be a tight one. Penn State will probably end up getting a victory, but I would love to see Kentucky get that bowl victory. I'm rooting for Kentucky all the way. Ever since they beat Florida, I'm a huge Florida fan, but ever since they beat Florida for the first time in 30 years, you can't do nothing but root for Kentucky. They've lost a couple games. The only one real ugly loss that's kind of a head scratcher was to Tennessee, but ever since then, most of the season, Kentucky has done great. This is the highest they've ever been ranked. This is the best season they've probably ever had in football, and I'm rooting for Kentucky all the way. Ohio State, which will be Urban Meyer's last game, he will take on Washington in the Rose Bowl. It'll be Urban Meyer's first, and who knows, possibly even last Rose Bowl. I'm not a huge fan of Ohio State, I guess for reasons. I hope Washington wins that game. And Georgia will take on Texas in the Sugar Bowl. I think it ought to be a pretty good game, but I think I think Georgia will end up winning that game pretty convincingly because Georgia's just that good. And I think that'll do it for this episode of the Blue 42. I thank you for watching. I hope you keep tuning in. And like I said, hopefully by January the 1st, I'll get this thing rolling and maybe have a weekly podcast or even more than that. Who knows? So this is just kind of like a trial run. See how I do and see what happens. Give me your prediction for the college football playoffs and give me your prediction for the national championship game. Let me know below in the comments or let me know on Facebook. Let me know on YouTube. Message me. Do whatever you want to. And also let me know what you think about Urban Meyer. What do you think about the career of Urban Meyer? What do you think about? Do you think the whole Zach Smith situation ruined his legacy? Let me know all that below. Thanks for watching and peace out. That was kind of weird, wasn't it? Anyway, peace out.